So there's this trend on TikTok where women get on these ride-on mowers and they start cutting the grass in these ridiculous circles. Just chaos, okay? Like patchy lawn, random lines, and the caption is usually something like, when your husband says there's no right way to load a dishwasher. And I'm telling you, all the women catch this point. We see it. The point is so obvious. Men know that there is a right way to do things when they care about the thing. So the lawn can be wrong, right? The truck can be washed wrong. The garage can be organized wrong. You can put his tools away in the wrong way. You can barbecue wrong. The thermostat can be set wrong. The way that you drive can be wrong. Men are happy to tell you all the things that you do wrong. But the second a woman says, hey, can you actually load the dishwasher in this way so that the dishes get clean? Suddenly the entire concept of doing things correctly vanishes before your eyes because she's picky, she's controlling, she's such a perfectionist and nothing you ever do is right. Now suddenly there is no right way. It doesn't even matter, right? Who cares? But that's the contradiction that we need to talk about. Because the thing with weaponized incompetence is that we're always talking about it like it's just a man pretending that he doesn't know how to do laundry. And while that is part of it, the deeper issue is the contradiction. This is a man who undoubtedly wants to be seen as a leader, provider, protector. He's the logical one. He's the competent one. He's the head of the household. But he doesn't know where the towels go. He can run a business. He can learn fantasy football. He can research protein powder. The man can build a deck. He can organize really complicated fishing gear. Maybe that's just me. He can troubleshoot a gaming system. This is a guy who can build something out of nothing. He can argue about economics on the internet. He can explain geopolitical conflict, right? To women who didn't even ask. He's probably the kind of guy that mansplains, but he can't figure out how to run a household. My God. So interesting, right? But then his wife tries to teach him because he is saying, I don't know how. He's saying, you're better at it. So she takes her years of experience, and that is the standard, right? Because she's been the one doing it. And then now her knowledge is just her nagging, right? She's being so disrespectful when she corrects him. That's crazy. So this is a video about weaponized incompetence, but it's not like a cute, funny, oh, men are so useless. That's not what we're talking about. I want to talk about what it actually does, what it exposes, because we're talking about entitlement, we're talking about contempt. The way that this exposes how some men really want the authority, but they don't want accountability or responsibility. The way that women's labor really gets treated as very natural. It's a natural thing. It's the default, right? Women are just better at it naturally. But when she tries to explain that it requires skill, I think it exposes something. Men are not confused. Often they just don't care enough to learn. Now, my name is Lisa Sonni. I'm a certified relationship coach. I'm the author of multiple books. And on this channel, I help women understand what abusive men are doing. I help expose their tactics so that women can see through this, exit relationships with terrible men, heal, move on, and rebuild self-love and self-trust. So let's make this first point here that men know that there is a right way to do things when they care. That's why I think the dishwasher debate is so funny, because men are very relaxed when the task belongs to women, right? There's no way to do this. My God, who cares? Cups on the bottom, cups on the top. What does it matter? And the truth is, you could argue there is no right way, because I'm sure that even within women, we do the task differently. So there's a degree of preference here, but men lean way too hard into that. They'll just tell you, who cares? It's not that deep. It's a dishwasher. It all gets clean. Why does everything have to be such a big deal with you? So dismissive. Okay, so literally go mow the lawn in circles. Put his tools back wherever. Use the wrong oil in his car. Do it. Go move the cables that are connecting to the TV. Just move them around. See if there's a right way to do things then. Because I'm telling you, this is going to expose that men understand the concept of doing something the right way. I know plenty of men that are actually very into doing something in a methodical, logical way. Go hang a picture without a level, right? Because this is where you're going to see suddenly the process matters, and good enough is not good enough. Now, sometimes, as I said, he's right. There is more than one way to do something. That's the point that a lot of men make. And they're not wrong in that point, but they take it in a direction that just isn't fair to their partner. That's not usually the real conflict, because what a man could say is, you know what? The reason that I put the cups here instead of here is because it does get clean, or it doesn't matter, or I like to put the bowls on the bottom versus the top. Like those things, right? He could explain it to her. They could have a conversation, and ultimately, yeah, she could decide it also doesn't matter. But the problem is that more often than not, if we're going to stick with the dishwasher example, it's that the dishes are in fact not coming out clean. She might even be doing something like organizing things in the dishwasher so that when you take things out, when you unload it, all the bowls are together, all the cups are together, and it's easier. Doesn't really matter. It's that he doesn't care about her logic or her reason. For him, it just doesn't matter. But what really doesn't matter is her feelings. I think the conflict here is really that he believes in standards when the standard protects what he values. If you have the standards, he resents those because you're actually asking him to value you. And I think that's really the whole thing. When it matters to her, precision can very easily become control. And I'm telling you, there's no accident in this contradiction. I find it very interesting. This is a much deeper conversation than just weaponized incompetence and how you fold the towels. Although folding towels is always a good example because you hear about that one so often. I see weaponized incompetence as not just a man not knowing how to do something. And I have made so many videos on this topic over the years, and there's always men, so many men in the comments that want to say, women are just crazy. Their standards are nuts. Men just don't know how to do certain things, right? That's it. He just doesn't know. You're not explaining it to him. When she does explain it to him, and she does, he's dismissive. He mocks her. He tells her it's ridiculous. So it isn't just not knowing. The truth is, weaponized incompetence can really only be taking place after you've talked about standards. Everybody has things that they don't know how to do. That's normal. And any healthy adult can learn, watch, use their eyeballs. They can learn, they can practice. But what this takes is caring. And that's the problem, right? If somebody's teaching me how to do something, then I can take that correction without being like an injured party. Like, oh my God, you're being so unfair. I've even had a man that I lived with once tell me he prefers the dishwasher loaded a different way. And he was doing a lot of that work. So, hey, I will do it his way. I don't care. That's the thing, is it doesn't matter. If it matters to someone else and it doesn't matter to me, then we'll just do it your way. Unless it's making it wildly harder for me, why would I care? But it's not harder. Women are often showing men how to do something in a more efficient way, while they are also being told that they're natural at this. Well, if they're so natural, why aren't you listening? If you're saying that she's better at it, then listen to her. Weaponized incompetence is when a man pretends to not know how to do something so that she does it. Or he does the task so badly that she eventually just goes, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. He's all confused, and then she takes over. He makes the conversation so friggin' exhausting that literally doing it herself would be easier. And I picture this sort of like you're asking your teenage son to take the trash out. And it's like, oh my God, bro, you're ruining my life. That is exactly how some grown adult married men behave. It's such a basic household task. And then it's this big emotional event, right? Oh my God, you're so ridiculous. You're such a perfectionist. Who cares? Why does it matter? All the ways that they get you to feel like it's just stupid. You have to manage the task. You have to ask him for help. You have to make him a list. You have to follow up. Then you have to explain the task. Then you have to go back and correct the task. And if he gets defensive, you have to soothe that and make him feel better and be like, no, it's not. I know, I'm just a little bit of a perfectionist. I just have my way of doing things. And then really, you're going to go do the task again, right? You're just going to do it again because he really did it wrong. And she learns eventually it's just easier to do it herself, right? He doesn't actually have to say to her, the house is your responsibility. I'm not doing anything. Some men say that, but plenty don't. They just behave that way. They just make you feel that way. It's even in the word help, right? I'll help you. Just ask for help. Then you ask for help and he's mad at you and calls you a nag and does the task wrong. It's crazy. And men are like, who cares? Who cares? The woman you asked to marry you, the woman that you allegedly love, respect, and care for, her. That's the one who cares. Don't ask who cares. You know the answer. But this is why weaponized incompetence works just so beautifully, because he doesn't have to win an argument. He just has to make having the argument be bigger than the actual chore. He has to make the chore less frustrating than getting him to do the chore. And it works. It literally works. This is why this is such a hot topic for so many women. But let's go back to this perfectionist piece, because I'm telling you, this is like a little escape hatch for these men. It's one of the easiest ways that they don't have to take accountability, right? And I so remember a video I made years ago. I will never forget it because that man left, like, I'm not kidding you, like 530 comments over 6 or 7 days. He responded to every single comment and tried to pick an argument with every single woman in the entire comment section. It was outrageous. Outrageous. Went on for over a week. And in fact, at one point, his ex-wife commented on the same video, and then he started attacking her. But what he and I were debating about, because of the topic of the video, was a man leaving his underwear on the floor. And his whole thing was, I don't care if my underwear are on the floor. I'm happily divorced. Happily divorced as he's in the comment section behaving this way. But he's there saying, I want to leave my underwear on the floor. And if she cares, she can pick it up. I don't care. Yeah, you don't care about the underwear, but you also don't care about your wife. Not shocked that the man is divorced, right? It makes sense. And also, I don't think most men want to live with their underwear on the floor. He could argue it doesn't matter and he'll just leave it there. And the truth is, maybe it will. But most men prefer to live in a clean house, in a nice house. That's why they partner with women so much, because women are keeping those houses and men are saying women do this well. You admit that. Now, another example, because I love the folded towels, could be, please fold the towels this way so they fit in a closet. Please fold the towels this way so they are displayed in the bathroom in a nice way. And he's like, my God, you're so particular. You're friggin' OCD. No, there's more to it than that. Certain things matter. And again, it might matter to her and not you. And I get that. I'm not going to say it should matter to men. She should matter to you, not necessarily how the towels are folded. In fact, quick side story. My current partner, been with him for nearly 5 years. I remember when he first moved in and we first started kind of deciding who's doing what. And he was like, listen, I'll do the laundry. I can see how much you hate it. How do you fold towels? And I remember I was like, excuse me? Flashing before my eyes. Oh my God, did a man just ask me how to fold towels? And he was like, no, how do you fold towels? Oh my God. He cared how I folded them. And I was like, like this. And he's like, okay, that's how I'll do it. Oh my God. So simple. It was nothing to him. But so many men will be like, you just need everything your way. You're so controlling. You're trying to control him. We're talking about towels, okay? It's really not about control. It is about a standard, perhaps. And people can have different standards, but weaponized incompetence is not a difference in standards. That's not what it is. And men trying to say that it is will never make it that that's what it is. It just makes them wrong. It makes them willfully missing the point. Because I have a belief, shocking, I know, because I'm told every day by men that I'm a man hater, but I actually think that men are capable. I think that men are intelligent. I really do. Not all men, of course, but plenty of men. So I believe in their capability of figuring out how to fold a towel, okay? Men are running companies and worlds, okay? Men are in charge of so many things. To say that they can't figure out how to load a dishwasher, it's never going to make sense to me. But women being framed as impossible, as perfectionists, as so particular, and being called OCD unfairly, that is crazy, okay? Now, if a woman says to you, I really need the towels folded in a very specific way. I need them folded into swans, and I need you to stack them like this. I'm going to give you, that's a little nuts. You might love your wife. Maybe you're going to learn origami for her. Cool. But if she asks you that, I can appreciate maybe that's a crazy standard. But folding them so that they have a rounded edge to display nicely in the guest bathroom because she cares about how her home looks, that's actually normal. And you're a crazy person to fight her on that. You want to just ball them up. You want to fold them in a really messy way where the edges don't line up. Fine. Honestly, I have actually stood there and figured out it takes 5 seconds to fold a towel in a messy way and 6 seconds to fold it in a tidy way. What is the cost to you, sir? All this woman wants from you is clean dishes and the laundry not ruined. All she wants is for you to not put bleach into the darks. It's very simple. All she did was ask you to hit on for the dryer. It's really not complicated stuff. She doesn't want sticky counters or school forms forgotten or whatever. It's literally not perfectionism. There is a right way to do things. There is timing. Even when you look at like taking the garbage out, there's a day of the week that the garbage man comes to take it. Therefore, it needs to be done before that. And even the garbage man has standards. For example, where my sister lives, everything has to be in a bag. In other places, that might not be the standard, but they have standards. So why can't we have standards? The problem is not that he refuses to learn. It's that she cares. Watch that, right? Because the second caring becomes the problem, the person who doesn't care gets to look really, really rational. But let's go into that deeper, because what I'm saying is that he doesn't care about his wife. Because let's say the towel can be folded two ways. Let's even give men, sure, right? The dishwasher can be loaded in more than one way. As long as the dishes are clean, it can be done. You talk about even like doing the dishes. Do you mean wash, dry, and put away, or wash, dry, and put in the drying rack? Everybody has different standards, which is why weaponized incompetence doesn't really happen unless the standards have been set. Maybe not agreed to, right? But the standard has been set. So why does it end the conversation of, well, there's more than one way? If your wife says, in so many words, this matters to me because it fits better. There's a perfect example. It fits better if I load the dishwasher this way. Then we can fit more dishes in and they all get clean. Your way is less fits in, right? It makes her morning easier. It keeps the dishes from needing to be rewashed. Whatever, okay? It helps the kids stay organized. It doesn't matter. Why is your first instinct resistance? That's the problem. I think so many men are sort of conditioned to just resist what she's saying. You just have to fight her. You have to be antagonistic, contrary, combative. Your gut is just, nah, she wants it, I can't do it. What does it actually cost you to learn it her way? And it's not because she's your boss. And that's what so many men will, well, why does her way have to be the way? Well, only because you say that she's better at these things. Only because she's the one doing it most of the time. I don't think there are that many women, probably some, but there's that many women who I don't do the dishes ever. In fact, I literally, basically almost never do the dishes at my house. My partner does that. Now, I don't tell him how to load the dishwasher. The dishes are clean. It's his task. He owns it start to finish. It doesn't matter. But if there is a task that we're both doing together, or sometimes it's him and sometimes it's me, it matters. I listen to him and he listens to me. It's literally a two-way street because that's a partnership. You love her. That's why you listen to her. Why does he have to be accountable to her? Oh, because he married her. I don't understand. It works both ways, right? Men are so happy to say, well, you get married and your bodies become one, but not your standards though, eh? Cool. When you have a woman literally running the system that men benefit from and then turning around and saying, that's ridiculous, like doesn't make sense to me. If this makes her life easier, this little thing, why are you fighting her so hard to not do it? This is why weaponized incompetence pisses off so many women. It's not about the dishes and the friggin' towels. That's not what this is, okay? I'm sure that there is another technically correct towel folding method out in the universe. But the woman that you claim to love says, this helps me, and you say in so many words to her face, I do not care. That's the message. And hey, she's receiving that message. I don't care about you. I don't care about your standards. I don't care about how you feel. It doesn't matter. A loving partner can say, you know what? I wouldn't naturally do it that way, but if it matters to you, then I can do it. But no, men see that as submission, right? You're giving in. Can't do that. That is called caring for your partner. That is a healthy response. What I'm describing otherwise is not a healthy response. Why does caring about what matters to your wife feel like some kind of loss to you? Because I think what this costs men is the status. Like, I feel like he has to accept that she knows something that he doesn't know. And it's so crazy because it's just women's work, right? So like, why not accept that you don't know it? Aren't you the man who just isn't good at these things? So if you're not good at it, if she's better at it, let her teach you. I don't understand. He has to become teachable in this world that he has actually lived in that devalue women because women are the ones doing it. This is when men have to actually admit that domestic labor requires skill. He has to stop treating her standards as some little girl thing, right? As some female preferences, and actually recognize that those things take skill and knowledge. And I think that's really uncomfortable for a man who really wants authority, but he lacks the humility. Because if he learns it her way, then he loses the fantasy that she's just naturally better at this. It then will become evidence that they're both capable and that he can actually do these things. And then, oh no, he might have to actually do these things more often. The whole point of weaponized incompetence is to avoid the task. It is not knowing how to do something. I've said that 3 times. Do you know why? Because no matter how many times I say that in a video, a man is going to say, she's just a perfectionist after I dismantled that argument. She just wants it done her way. No, that's not what it is. It is not a difference in standards. It's not bad communication. It is a man willfully trying to get out of doing a task by performing incompetence. And this claim of but I actually really don't know how, so then you'll learn? Because then that would be the evidence that you don't know how. You're asking to learn. You can't say, I don't know how and I don't want to learn, because that's weaponized incompetence. When you hear men say things like, nothing matters, it doesn't matter, right? Who cares? It's just grass. Who cares? It's just dishes. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters when women care, right? The dishwasher, laundry, crumbs, socks, underwear on the floor, school form, nothing matters. Everything's good. Who cares? But when he cares, that matters. Disturb him when he's sleeping. His sleep matters, right? He's stressed. That matters. Okay. Sex. Woo, that matters. That matters a lot. Oh, you can't compare sex to chores. Men compare sex to chores all the time. Men compare sex to mowing the lawn. It's just something you have to do. Well, that matters. It matters that women just do it. So it doesn't matter that men can just load the dishwasher in the right way. It's a ridiculous comparison, I know, but men are the ones using it. I'm just making fun of it. Sounds very chill, right? He's relaxed. Nothing matters. Everything's good. It's not chill at all. If it matters to you, you handle it. If it bothers you, it's your problem. Okay, this man hates you. No one will ever convince me that a man who does this loves his wife. Your husband hates you. That's what I'm saying. But a lot of men really just want to put this back into standards, okay? They constantly go on about it's just a difference in standards. Okay, fine. Standards issue. She likes things done this way. He likes things another way. Marriage is compromise, right? Okay, let's talk about compromise. If he leaves his clothes on the floor, who picks them up? If he loads the dishwasher badly and they come out dirty, who notices? Who rewashes them? Who does that, right? If he forgets the school form, who gets the email saying it needs to be filled out or that the kid is about to miss a trip? If he does bedtime badly, winds the kids up, the kids are all dysregulated, who deals with the fallout, right? If he doesn't see mess when he lives inside the mess, you're just waiting for your wife to flip out. You're waiting for anger. This is why the difference in standards is actually very dishonest. It's such a lie from men because the consequences don't land in the same way across the board. You're not experiencing the consequences of it. She is. So it matters. His low standards create work that she has to do. So let's say he forgets something. He forgets to plan something. She now has to plan it. And she has to plan it last minute. It now created an emergency for her because of his low standards. So it's really not like she likes it one way and he likes it another. He gets to not care, and then she has to pay for his not giving a damn. Now, this is where I want to talk about contempt, because we can talk about weaponized incompetence. And as I said, people talk about chores and all the things, but this is actually about the health of the relationship. I think most people know John and Julie Gottman's work, right? They talk about these 4 horsemen, okay? Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Huge. Contempt is big. Contempt is the number one predictor of a marriage ending in divorce. And it makes so much sense. Contempt is actually, it's really dangerous. It communicates disgust and disrespect, and there's a superiority in that contempt. That's why I believe that weaponized incompetence is really contempt. Because when a woman says, this matters to me, and he's like, oh, good, and he rolls his eyes, he mocks her standards, he calls her controlling, you're so ridiculous. Fine, I just won't do anything then. If I can't do it perfectly, I can't do it your way. He gets all mad at her. That's not a household disagreement. That is literally contempt. It's on display right there. That's the definition. So if you're sitting there thinking like, my husband talks to me this way, my partner, my boyfriend talks to me this way, that's contempt. Your labor is invisible. Your standards are stupid. Your time doesn't matter, right? Your frustration, he will make that the problem. It's always going to be your reaction is the problem. She'll start criticizing the way you do something. Of course she gets angry. Of course she says, dude, I asked you 10 times. But people love to blame women for sounding so critical. But meanwhile, we're going to ignore the fact that she's been ignored for years. Women are not just criticizing out of absolutely nowhere. They're asking for basic participation. She's not being negative. She is living with a man who hates her. And really, the contradiction is so layered because this is a guy that wants leadership without service. Rarely do you find a man who behaves this way, who does not somehow see himself as the head of the household and, I'm a provider. I don't know how to do these things. I'm the protector. I'm the logical one, the competent one. Okay, lead. Laundry is leadership, right? Knowing your child's shoe size is leadership. Leaders know what's going on. Leaders know how to do things. In fact, leaders are able to teach, but leaders are also able to learn. Leaders collaborate and listen. But men hear leadership and they hear dominance. Men are leaders. Men say what to do. Men say, you do the laundry. But men will also say, if you want me to do the laundry, don't tell me how to do it. But I thought she knew better. Makes no sense, right? She's the expert at it until she has something to teach you. And then that's too far. That's crazy. Managing the grocery list is leadership. Loading the dishwasher. All of these things are leadership. Anticipating what your family needs, that's leadership. A leader doesn't sit in the house waiting for the manager to assign him tasks, right? You're acting a lot more like an intern. I would argue men are interns when they're behaving this way. Leadership without service is literally entitlement. He is entitled. And did I mention he hates you? I think the real question is, can this man be influenced by you, a woman, right? Because I think this is the spot where a relationship lives or dies. If he can't be influenced by you, if he can't hear you when you say, this matters to me, what's the point? Men like this don't seem to be able to adapt without acting humiliated, right? They may not recognize that. I think men would actually reject my use of the word humiliated, but I think that's what I see. Does he care that doing it your way would make your life easier when it's the smallest thing? Because the examples that are always being used are the most ridiculous examples. It's like, it's just the cups. Who cares? If it's so easy, if it's just cups and she cares, can't you choose to care about her? Because it's actually a bid for partnership and to be seen. It's a bid for relief, for shared responsibility. And in the Gottman's work, they talk a lot about the emotional bids. I think so many people know that red bird example that he uses so often. And if you don't, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but a wife sees a bird out the window and goes, oh, look, a bird. Now, he could say nothing. He could completely ignore her, but that's a sign of an unhealthy marriage. Or he could go, oh, what kind of bird? And just ask a question. It's a bid for emotional connection. This, when women are asking for participation in their houses, it is a bid for partnership. Listen, it's not about whether every towel that ever gets folded in your house for the rest of your lives is exactly in the right way. It's whether or not he can let his wife matter to him, whether her experience doing these tasks can influence him. It's about if her knowledge matters at all, right? Her relief, is that worth 30 seconds of effort from this man? Because if it's not, he's refusing partnership. It's not just that he's refusing chores. Weaponized incompetence is disgusting behavior, and it's not harmless. It's not a funny marriage complaint. And I think that so many reels and shorts and TikToks and all these things, it makes it this light little haha, men. Do we? Do we know men? Do we know that men are using weaponized incompetence, and we know that men don't love their wives, and we know that men are lazy and contemptuous? Whatever happened to not all men? Because the truth is, not all men are like that. Men benefit from these systems. He gets clean clothes and fed children and a managed calendar. He gets clean dishes. It seems so obvious, right? Do you like to eat off clean plates, Dave? I do. It's like, so when you load the dishwasher, you actually need them to come out clean in order for you to eat off clean dishes, right? Seems obvious to me. So when she asks him to participate with competence, the very competence that men claim they absolutely have, and he becomes confused and offended and helpless or victimized in some way, there's a huge contradiction. He's capable everywhere that his pride is involved, but he's helpless every time her relief is part of this. It's not an inability. This is an entitled man. She will stop asking, she will stop trusting, and she will stop respecting. So when he says there's no right way to load a dishwasher, I want you to listen to what that man is actually saying. He's telling you, I don't value the system that you built. I don't want to be corrected by you, and I do not value your opinion. You do not matter to me. I do not care about what you care about. And if you make me, I'm going to call you controlling, a nag, and abusive. Now, if you're in a relationship where you have been made to feel this way, or you're freshly out of a relationship where you feel this way, you can work with me one-on-one. You can join any of my group coaching programs, or you can join me inside She Rises Collective, which is a monthly online community that I run for women survivors of abuse. You can also join me for an in-person event that I'm hosting in Boston, Massachusetts, November 13th to 15th, called Unbreakable and Irreplaceable, the Self-Led Woman. And I'm co-hosting that event with Dr. Peter Salerno. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.